12 pages, I think. Page 52. This is exactly what I did with Isaac, the soldier struggling with the feeling that he wasn't useful anymore. I got him to imagine his future in a new way, reconnect with some of the obsessions he had before his injuries, and commit to improving his health and mindset for his family, and so he could get back to work. It wasn't easy, but eventually Isaac reconnected with himself and again found his enthusiasm for life. Bottom line, we change and improve over time only when we must. Wow. We must. Okay. When the internal and external forces on us are strong enough, we make it happen. We climb, and when it gets most difficult, we remember our cause. When we're afraid and battling hardship and darkness, we remember we came in the cause of light and we sustain positive performance over the long term. Here are 3 practices that can fire up a greater sense of necessity. Practice 1. Know who needs your game. Not only must we be good, but we must also be good for something. Henry David Thoreau. But if I'm good for nothing, isn't that still something? Language. To help you tap into both the internal and external demands of necessity, try this simple practice. Set a desk trigger for yourself. From now on, whenever you sit down at your desk, that's the trigger action. Ask, who needs my A game the most right now? Butt hits chair. Then you ask and answer the question. That's the practice. I love this for several reasons. It's simple and something anyone can do. I can certainly park my ass in a chair, can't you? The trigger is based on something you do frequently. Yes, I do sit down frequently. Sit down at your office chair. Yep. Whether your office chair is at the kitchen table or a high-rise corner office, I bet you're there a lot. Yes, I'm on my ass all the time. It forces you to do a quick gut check. Yep, why am I sitting down? The mere mention of your A game forces an internal review. What is my A game? Have I been bringing it today? Yep, on my ass all day. What would my A game look like in the next hour or so? Probably still on my ass. The question also forces you to think of someone else. Who else is on their ass? Whether by duty, obligation, or purpose, they ended up on your radar. God, my friends did a lot. And now you can have an external person or group to work for. When you have some external to take action for, you tend to perform better. Finally, I like the phrase, the most right now. It is immediacy focused, and yet the most makes you examine your priorities, and yep, you guessed it, real deadlines on your ass. Sorry. I started teaching this practice to my clients. He's teaching them to sit on their ass. I'm sorry. It's great. It's really great. Like anyone can do it. Okay. I never met a high performer who didn't consistently sitting on their ass. Okay. Who didn't consistently ponder whether they were giving their best, not just for themselves, but for others. They've come to assess. Assess and accent too much alike. They have come to assess their performance at regular intervals by giving you a desk trigger. I'm helping you bring that skill to your conscious habits. I'm also helping you step into a spirit of service, because that's what high performers do. They're grateful. They're grateful for life and the fact that they can sit on their ass. Like, it's really great. Really, really great. So they're generous with others. They provide them with a chair. It's great. Musical chairs. We should do that. People often ask me to clarify what it means to bring on your A game and how to get there. Being on your A game means that you're giving your best effort with full focus on the singular task at hand. To get it, you need to stoke the internal and external demands of necessity. Specifically, you assume the identity of a high performer and you set up situations that require full immersion. In other words, you get to your A game through the gates of identity and immersion. In the game of life, you get to choose your identity, who you will aspire to be, and how you'll show up. That choice of identity will dramatically affect how well you perform. Consider the difference between these identities. Dabblers. Having a passing interest in the game of life, they look at many things and try many things, but they never really jump into anything with full engagement or commitment. Little fairies. Maybe unicorns. Leprechauns. Okay, novices. Have interests too, but at least they're intent on developing some expertise in an area. They jump in deeper than dabblers, but their issue is they don't deal with discouragement. Novices stop at obstacles because they don't have much of their identity in the fight. Amateurs have more than interest. They have passion. They've jumped in deep, and they truly engage a subject and want to get better. They get through more obstacles than novices do, but they tend to remain at an unskilled level unless they get fast and positive feedback or recognition. In other words, they need a lot of external validation to continue. Does that sound like you? Do you need validation to continue? Or do you just want to try everything? Players have passion, but also greater commitment and skill. Has he met the guys I dated? With great focus, they teach themselves to master one area of the game. Yep, flirting. They excel and find themselves happy as long as they get their turn and get compensation. That sounds like him. If the game changes or the rules change, though, they're quickly embittered. Yep, kicked him out and he's still mad. Players desperately need the rules and routines. They don't like disruption or negative feedback. They need a high degree of fairness if they're going to participate. If someone on the team gets paid more than they do, they freak out and quit. They're committed to becoming a success in their position, but rarely achieve a holistic level of success in other areas of the game or life. Yep, he lost his game. To them, it's a game to be won, and there's not much beyond that. That's why he's kicked to the curb. High performers are like players, but with greater all-around necessity, skill, and team spirit. They're all in on the game. They're all over that. They play at a high level no matter what the recognition or rewards, because the game is intrinsically rewarding and also part of how they view their service to the world. Their identity is tied to the game, but also to the team and those they serve. And they serve well. They don't want to master just one area of the game. They want to be known for the game itself. And yet, unlike players, they don't mind sharing the spotlight. They have such a high degree of personal excellence and duty to the team, they become the go-to person in every game. They stand out because they not only deliver exceptional individual performance, but also make every person better through their influence. He did. These are more casual descriptions that I've made elsewhere in the book, but I often share them to help people realize they have a choice. If you want to be on your A game, you can't be a dabbler, novice, amateur, or player. You must consciously choose and try to will yourself into being a high performer. If you're going to bring your A game regularly, you have to describe that identity for yourself and step into it every single day. In addition to choosing a high performance identity, you'll have to immerse yourself fully in activities that force you to stretch. You can't just prance around thinking you're good. You have to put yourself in situations that make you good. Fortunately, research has clearly outlined exactly what will help you find those challenging and immersive experiences. This popular concept in positive psychology is known as flow. According to Maya, I'm not going to pronounce that. Flow happens when several of these elements are in play. 1. You have goals that are clear and challenging, yet attainable. Should we stop here? We're at page 5. I'm going to leave you hanging for a few more seconds. 2. Strong concentration and focused attention are required. 3. The thing you're doing is intrinsically rewarding. 4. You lose self-consciousness a bit and feel serene. 5. Time stops. You feel so focused on the present that you lose track of time. 6. You're getting immediate feedback on your performance. 7. There's a balance between your skill level and the challenge presented. You know that what you're doing is doable, even if difficult. 8. You have a sense of personal control over the situation and outcome. 9. You stop thinking about your physical needs. 10. You have the ability to focus completely on the activity at hand. You can use this list of conditions to increase the odds you'll bring your A game to those you hope to serve. Perhaps this last part about serving others is what makes flow even more powerful. That's why I ask that you frame this practice as an opportunity to bring your A game for someone else. Look beyond your individual performance or feelings and connect with the reason to be your best for others. Find somebody or something worth fighting for. If you can stoke the necessity to be your best in order to help others, you'll hit high performance faster and stay there longer.